Trump shocked all of Europe and half of America. He said that if the EU stops paying for security, then he will not only not protect them, but on the contrary, he will encourage everyone who wants to climb into Europe and do whatever they want there. Naturally, everyone in Washington immediately fainted. They say, "How can you say such terrible things to our beloved allies?" Question American security guarantees. Yes, this is almost detrimental to the national security of the United States itself, to speak such seditious ideas. But the press beautifully blurred out two important details. Firstly, Trump already told the Europeans all this. Actually, he didn't hide it. During a campaign rally in South Carolina, he said that during one of the meetings with European leaders, he was asked by the head of one major power. Trump did not reveal which one. Whether the United States would defend Europe if she pays less than expected, that is, less than 2% of GDP. And that's when Trump replied that not only will I not defend, I will also call all sorts of bad people to climb on you if you don't pay. That is, firstly, Trump already said all this. This is not a subjunctive mood on the topic, if I were a sultan, but on the contrary, it is the past tense and an account of how he led while being president. But the main thing, and this is second, is that Trump did not mean, I will disperse NATO, I will withdraw the United States from the alliance, etc., just the opposite. He quite clearly says the opposite. My goal is not to dissolve the bloc or leave it, on the contrary. My goal is to leave the bloc and get them to start paying. That's what he said. And he even clearly named the method. They say, I'm even ready personally to encourage evil countries to cause problems for you if you don't pay, because then, they say, you'll immediately run for help and immediately find money if necessary. And you will stop drinking, but you will pay for protection. That is, Trump's method is not, I will leave NATO because they don't pay, but on the contrary, I will remain in NATO, but I will be able to put so much pressure that they will start paying. And this should be understood very well by those who dream that Donyushka will come and dissolve Natushka. Yes, now. He doesn't dream out loud about how he would have led if, on the contrary, Trump publicly reported on how he led it and how he forced the Europeans to pay, by what methods. And he didn't leave NATO, but the old world really began to pay. We know that. And therefore, now, when even their own people are openly leaking Biden and the arrival of Trump is considered almost the most likely scenario, this must be understood by those who dream that Donald will come. Flowers will bloom and butterflies will begin to flutter. Everything will be exactly the opposite. He will launch such militarism that Biden has never even dreamed of. It will start shooting, blazing, and banging so much that we will still remember Blinken with a kind word. And there is direct evidence of this. Nowadays, the main sign has become that key events are passed over in deathly silence. For example, North Korea is achieving energy self-sufficiency, starting its own oil production, and Russia provides it with technology and specialists. There is no need to specify how Kim Jong-un is useful to us in return. There are many things that have already been written more than once. And when a country has its own energy resources, it immediately becomes a completely different economy. But it is not important. America recently officially announced to the global maritime carrier Maersk that it is unable to ensure the safety of commercial shipping in the Red Sea. Radical changes will soon emerge in the global oil market due to the uncertain situation in the Red Sea. This statement was made by representatives of the largest global carrier Maersk. The U.S. Navy, in turn, warned the company that it was impossible to guarantee the safety of all its ships sailing through this water area. It seems that even after spending millions of dollars of missiles on Yemen and Iraq, the United States ultimately was unable to influence the situation in this region for G7 ships. As a result, Europe will now have to deal with a decrease in diesel fuel from India and delays in the supply of Qatari LNG, as well as its rise, which is natural. However, the closure of the Suez Canal for hydrocarbon cargo transportation could lead to a further disintegration of the global oil market into several separate price zones. The situation is getting worse, and experts predict significant changes in the oil and gas transportation industry in the near future.